Is Mental Health Awareness Month. This morning we're focusing on people with disabilities because they experience depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues at higher rates than the general population does, and their problems often are misdiagnosed and unaddressed. So check out these numbers. Studies show around 33% of adults with disabilities report frequent mental distress. That rate is nearly 5 times higher than for those without disabilities. And among people with intellectual disabilities, 22% experience anxiety compared to nearly 5% of the general population. But a program at the Chicago Lighthouse gives these individuals, their caregivers, and providers the support they need. It's called Stronger Together. And joining us now to talk about it is Dr. Patricia Grant, Chief Research Officer at Chicago Lighthouse. Good morning, Doctor. Thanks so much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate it. Okay, what is the Stronger Together initiative? Can you explain it?
Yeah, sure. So the Stronger Together initiative, it's a Cook County Health funded initiative to expand mental health care services and raise awareness about the importance of mental health. And we're working specifically with our mission population, who are people who have disabilities and veterans, as well as their caregivers.
How are you finding them?
So we are doing so much outreach. We're trying to get the word out and let people know that we're here. We have services available, and we're just really out in a lot of outreach events, and a segment like this is very helpful just to get the word out and let people know that we are here.
I mean, there's so many reasons people don't seek care, right?
Exactly.
There's so many reasons, but one of them sometimes is just lack of insurance or insurance benefits that don't cover mental health care adequately.
Absolutely, and that's why this work that we're doing is so important.
Yeah.
And we've really spent the time to understand what the barriers are to care, and we find that there's transportation issues specifically with our population. There are insurance barriers, like you said, just not understanding how do I find a provider, what's covered, and then how do I find a provider who understands my unique needs. So that's an issue as well.
Which brings me to my next question. Why, in your opinion, do people with a disability have a higher percentage of mental health struggles?
I think it's often just overlooked. They're often in the medical care system and they're dealing with their disability. It could be a progressive disability, and they're not ever just really asked the question, are you okay? How are you handling things? And I think because of that, it just compounds, and then they end up dealing with these emotional issues as well as their disability.
And they're trying to do it all by themselves.
Exactly.
As they struggle with this disability that's maybe worsening. Or
Exactly.
What about caregivers? I'm sure there are a lot of issues caregivers face. That's tough too.
Yes.
Can you kind of talk about that, and how do you educate, and help them?
Yes, absolutely. So we find that, and studies are showing that half of caregivers report emotional distress from the work that they're doing to care for others, and often because they're prioritizing others, they're not prioritizing their own mental health. So when we work with our patients, we're also letting the caregivers know that we're here for you, and that's why we thought it was really important to expand this initiative for the caregivers.
And quickly, who's eligible for these services through the program?
So through the program is Cook County residents, so people who have a disability and who are veterans, but we want everyone to reach out to us, even if you're not within our mission-based population, because we're part of a larger initiative in Cook County, and we're able to refer people when needed. So we ask that everyone reach out and just have a conversation and let us know.
Okay, Dr. Patricia Grant, thank you so much. To learn more about Stronger Together, log on to the website on your screen right there, chicagolighthouse.org.